Well, hi there, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy you are here to get your crafty wheels out. If you don't know, my name is Claudia, and again, I am very happy that you are here. Today's project, I'm going to be working on one of my quote journals. This is a fun, interactive project, and it'll make sense here in a little bit. We are going to start by adding a little bit of watercolor to my background. Although this journal has a grid paper, which I love because it kind of, to me, that's texture. It's already pretty enough where I feel like sometimes I don't need to do anything to the page. But because this is it's a very beautiful and colorful layout, I felt like it still needed a little bit of color. So I'm just using a water brush pen, and it's called a pen because you kind of treat it like a pen. There is water inside, and you gives you a lot of control to add as much or as little water as you need. So as you can see, I did a little bit of watercoloring splattering on the background. I made sure it was dry before I went on. I am using the Flourish collection by Maggie Holmes by Crate Paper. I love this collection, and you can see all my flowers up on the right there. So what I'm doing now is just cutting a few strips of paper. These little strips are going to go all around the page on the edges of the journal. So I need 2, 4, 6 pieces, and you'll see as we go. I decided to leave this part of the video at the normal speed. It was not, I did not make it go faster. I did not increase the speed because I need the time to explain to you what is happening. So I am using a single-sided paper, and you'll understand why. So I'm using, again, just the same kind of theme of the flourish, the flowers, because everything is going to match. So I'm cutting 6 pieces of paper, 2 for the bottom, 2 for the top, which are probably around 4¼ inches wide, and then 2 longer strips for the edges. And there, you see that there, which in the end, I do end up cutting those, and you will see why. So I need to adhere these strips of paper with some washi. So I go through some of my favorites and decide to use a white and black polka dots. Now, because these little pieces are the part that makes this project interactive, which side of the paper you want to see is important. So I'm going to be adding a lot of flowers to this strips of paper. Now the flowers are going to be covering the white side of this of the strips. So I want the pattern paper, this pink side, to show up when I actually open the page to see the quote. So once again, you see I'm going kind of slow because it's actually normal speed. It's not that I'm moving slower, but I do need the time to explain. So you see that I've already adhered one piece to the right, but it's not going to stay there because I do end up trimming these long pieces, and it will make sense as we move on. So when you decide to make this for yourself, because I think you will once you see how beautiful this page turns out, you want to use a single-sided piece of scrapbooking paper. Now see here, these pieces, the washi tape, they're actually a tip-in. That's the best way to describe it. These are tip-ins, and they're going to flip out or fold out. So when they're open like this, and you can see the pink, and there I close them. You see how it is a tip-in? I've adhered the washi tape to all the pieces, and I'm going to start attaching them. So you want the pattern paper to be on the inside of the layout. The white part is what I call the outside of the layout. So there, you see, the white, it's going to be covered with the flowers. the pink or the pattern side of the paper is actually going to be seen when you open the tip-ins. So you're going to use the same on all 6 pieces of paper. So it's kind of like when you stitch something, there's the right side and the wrong side of the fabric. So the wrong side of the paper is the white and the right side of the paper is the floral. Once again, the white side, which is what you see here, is going to be covered with flowers. Now, at first, I thought that these longer pieces were going to be able to just flip out. It's, you know, as you open the page, but then I decided that they were going to get in the way as I was going to flip out the tip-ins. So I started with the longer pieces. Once I attach the smaller, the top and the bottom pieces, I figure out how much space is left open. I did a little bit of a little hash with my pencil, a little mark with my pencil, so that I knew exactly how wide those other pieces they needed to be. And so that's what I'm doing here. I am cutting the excess, and then I will end up with basically a kind of a frame, an extra frame of paper all around the page. And you'll see it here in a minute as I finish adding the last piece. And then I flip it inwards or close it up, close up the little tabs. You end up with almost like a little, you are encasing your layout. The video will pick up speed here in a minute. Again, I'm glad that I actually left it at a normal speed because it gave me that time that I needed to explain. So there, I'm going to close up the last piece. And now you see how I have framed the entire layout. And then you flip out all 6 pieces just like that. And this is why you need a pretty pattern on the one side of the paper. So here the speed just picked up again. I went ahead and grabbed every single flower I had that was part of the, again, Maggie Holmes collection by Crate Paper. And I'm gonna go around and just decide which flowers I want to use. And now you understand why that white paper, it's, you know, it's gonna get covered. Now, if you were to use pattern, like say a double-sided paper, I guess that could work. I just kind of wanted, I didn't want any other pattern competing with the flowers. So I think that by having the paper to be white, you have no problem, you know, just adding your flowers to the paper. I was kind of separating all my flowers and all the leaves by color, the pinks with the pinks, the yellows, the blues. Some of those leaves were gold, like a gold foil. And then I use a couple from the actual paper, and you'll see me here just kind of fussy cutting just a few. Now, obviously, the layout, the journal itself, it's straight edges. Now, you could leave the flowers or the leaves sticking out. I have no problem having things sticking out of whether it's the top or the sides, not the bottom, but the top and the side of my journal. And so I'm just kind of arranging my flowers, kind of covering all that white background of those little strips of paper that I added. But at the same time, I'm paying attention that when I close my book, the flowers are not going to get in the way of folding and closing. That's the one thing you need to kind of pay attention if you decide to create something like this or this technique. You need to make sure that where your glue is being added so that these little strips are can easily fold in and out. Also, because the inside of the TN or the pages or the layout, don't worry about the leaves sticking out. As long as they're not on the crease of how you close the book, it's no problem. And you'll see right now it looks kind of, you know, things are sticking out, but you'll see here in a minute, once I adhere, which I won't show you that because once I laid everything out, I go back and just start gluing everything. When you see the next frame, everything will be glued, but I've actually trimmed the edges of the flowers. Anything that was sticking out on certain parts, I'd trimmed out and just cut straight along the page. As always, I love to add my little butterflies. And so this paper collection also including several of them. And so I am adding a few. I think I only add two on the floral here and one on the inside. And now you see that I have trimmed around the pages so they look more straight. Now I'm gonna add my butterflies. As always, just put a little bit of glue in the center so that the little wings stay open. And there you can see how everything just lays out completely. It's like a little puzzle. You just fold and everything just kind of lays right on top of each other. But when it's closed, they just form this beautiful wreath around the page. So I went to my words of inspiration board in my Pinterest page and selected the two quotes that I wanted to use. I am using my micron pens to write because for me these are the best. And I counted how many lines or how many sentences on the quote, and you see it there. So I kind of made sure I knew where to start. I knew it was going to be long. So I went ahead and just, you know, started writing everything down. I think this is the easiest part of the layout, obviously. Just how to lay everything, the flowers and the little tip-ins was probably the hardest thing, and I hope that I was clear enough to for you to understand how I created this layout. I'm gonna be coming to an end pretty shortly. All you will see me here do is just finish up writing out the quotes themselves. I do add one more little stem of not flowers, but it's just a little gold leafing stem on right there on the left bottom side of that page, and then one more little butterfly. I will have close-ups at the end and links to everything. You can still find this collection here by Crepe Paper. It's kind of, you know, it's fairly new, not too old, so I'm sure you can still find it to if you want to, you know, kind of replicate this same technique. The idea was, again, just to use, create a wreath. So thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for close-ups. Let me know if you have any questions and I will do my best to answer them. Thanks again. I hope you make the time to focus on some creative journaling and maybe use this technique that I did here. So thank you so much, you guys. When you add any other embellishments to the inside, and that's what I'm doing there, make sure that they're not going to get in your way when you close the little tip in there. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. I will get back with some more videos as soon as I can. Make sure you make the time again to get crafty today. So until next time, take care. Bye.